You built the strategy and your team loved it. Months later, you're still explaining it in the same meetings to the same people. And the easy answer is, the strategy isn't clear enough, or you've got the wrong people. I've worked with leadership teams for 30 years, and I will tell you honestly, the strategy is almost never the problem. Most strategies are good enough to move an organization forward. What often gets in the way is what happens after the strategy leaves the boardroom and before it reaches the rest of the organization. And that place is the leadership team itself. So please stop rewriting strategies and launching another communication campaign. Stop questioning whether you have the right people or start to create another presentation, because the challenge is no longer informational. It's relational and operational. In fact, most organizations, they don't suffer from a lack of an extra PowerPoint. They suffer from a gap between strategic intent and leadership behavior. And that's where things start to get interesting. Many leaders assume that strategy will move directly from the executive team into the organization. However, in reality, it will pass through a filter. And that filter is your leadership team. Every leader will receive the strategy and then has to turn it into decisions, priorities, investments, actions. And while everyone may support the strategy, however, not everyone relates to this change in the same way. Some leaders will immediately focus on the future. They see opportunities, possibilities, they want momentum, and they are already moving forward. Other focus might be on protecting what's already working. They may be asking, what are we risking? What are we giving up? What lessons from the past should we not ignore? And then there are leaders who naturally will be focusing on helping people move from where they are today to where the organization wants to go. They think about adoption, engagement, readiness, and what it will take for people to come along. None of these perspectives are wrong. In fact, strong leadership teams need them all. The challenge begins when these conversations stay below the surface. Without exploration, something subtle will be starting to happen. Each leader will begin translating the strategy through their own reality and the way they are managing every day. After all, every leader sits at a different intersection of the business. They face different pressures, expectations, and way of doing things. Different stakeholders, different constraints, and what they pay attention to naturally will influence what will be prioritized and discussed and reinforced. So soon, what started as one strategy direction slowly will become a collection of local interpretations. It's not like because people are resisting. It's not because they don't care, but because the leadership team has not yet done the work of integrating those different perspectives into a shared path forward. This is where I believe leadership becomes less about strategy and more about the system. Because strategy doesn't move through an organization just on paper. It moves through relationships, conversations, decisions, and the leadership dynamics. When I work with leadership teams, I often less interested in the strategy itself and more interested in what the strategy is asking the team to confront. Is it asking them to make difficult trade-offs? Is it asking them to redistribute sources? or some leaders to let go of priorities they care deeply about? What kind of ask? Sometimes asking team to operate differently than what they done in the past? Because strategy doesn't create tension, but instead it reveals tension that was already there. In many organizations, the strategy simply shines a light on competing priorities, unresolved issues, or habits that no longer serve the organization. So it becomes the messenger. But leaders often mistake the message from the problem. I remember working with a leadership team that had spent months developing a new strategy direction. The strategy itself, it was really solid. The executives were smart, competent, and intelligent. The priorities made sense. Yet, 6 months later, very little had moved. At first, everyone thought the problem was execution. Some thought people needed more communication. Others said managers weren't holding their teams accountable. But as we started exploring what was happening underneath, we discovered something completely different. The strategy required the organization to shift resources from one area of the business to another. So on paper, everyone said okay. In meetings, everyone supported the decision. But underneath the agreement, there was tension. Some leaders felt their departments were carrying more of the sacrifice. Others worried they would lose influence. Others were concerned about risks they didn't feel being fully addressed. None of these concerns were being discussed openly, and that's not unusual. Many executives hesitate to surface these conversations because they fear it will create conflict, slow the momentum, or expose issues they would rather not deal with. So the irony is that avoiding these conversations rarely makes the issues disappear. More often, it pushes them underground. And when concerns remain underground, they tend to show up in other ways. Delayed decisions, competing priorities, reduced commitment, and slower execution. Without realizing it, leaders may be planting the seeds of the very stagnation they are trying to avoid. So what happened? People weren't resisting the strategy. They were protecting something they cared about. And because those concerns stayed below the surface, decisions slowed down. Projects stalled. Priorities kept getting revisited. Again, it's not about the weakness of the strategy, but because the leadership team had not yet worked through what the strategy was asking of them. Once these conversations happened openly, I promise, progress will accelerate. Not because the strategy changed, because the team changed the way they were relating to it. So if your strategy feels stuck, before asking, do people understand the strategy? Ask a different set of questions. Like, what is the strategy asking our leadership team to change? What trade-offs are we avoiding? What conversations are we postponing? Where are we expecting commitment without fully addressing concerns? Another one, which perspectives are being heard and which perspectives are missing? Because strategy moves through people, and leadership teams are not simply responsible for communicating the strategy. They are also responsible for carrying it. So if your leadership team has not fully worked through what the strategy requires of them, the organization will struggle to move no matter how many presentations are created. If this is resonating, I will be inviting you to take my Leadership Alignment Scorecard assessment. It will help you get a personalized read on where the system may be creating friction and where leadership dynamics may be slowing execution. The link is in the description below. And remember, before changing the strategy, take a closer look at the leadership team carrying it. You may discover that the strategy isn't what needs attention at all, because strategy doesn't create tension, it reveals tension that was already there.